loose and touching, walking shoulder to shoulder, faces caught in the twisted light, all winter's edge and coming up too soon. Time machine. My poems are too short. I mean, if you're really moved, like I always say, let's quicker even. Yeah, I realized I missed one. Okay. We always forget. I live in the attic and dangle my arms down, each finger tangled, weighted by plastic handles, looped through mangled plethora. When we fold our arms, there is a sound, a carburetor's hum, the first chord hitting the soft of his stomach. When you walk, remember to walk like you're kicking outwards, the weight of your feet faltering to lightness. Now let's think about this for a minute. Time machine. We're guarding, and if you had saved her, look, right there, that cloud right there. I remember you. Slam them with your wings. Ask me to meet you. I'll stop rolling bandages. I'll stop making notations. I'll stop peeling and peeling. Too late. Endless, endless, eternal white light. When the machine was finally finished, I couldn't arrive in time. Sorry with my fingers. Spit on it? Yeah. A wing. A single wing went into when, not the blue when of hammering, but managing in between. Cleaning, cling. It is a winging thing, untidy succeeding. Proudly, it is changing, it is not a current thing. Any dismembered wing means something is missing, not really supposing. Green and flat and brown and silent all the time, this is not the same. What is the result? The result is flinging. Leave a shade be papered, and in this make just less. Interchange. 1. Cross the balance from drawing the ready line. The red will write the distance too. Upend the tension, single turret and double black half circles faced. A substitution, a mound of sand. 2. Between you and me, a remedy. One night of two, one of two nights. All opposition, laid deeds. 3. Enter softly and resuscitate. Hold breath and fake sympathy too soon. Spit it out in leaves, warm the wax. Chewing keeps the teeth in, hold it in, holding in. 4. Blue, glass, in the icing is a terrible thought. 5. Ancient footprints traced step by step. A clearing then, power, horror then, parceled and sectioned and escaped. So over on that banquet, Cameron made some really beautiful wedding invitations for Alex and I. I don't know if you knew we eloped this morning. Poetry made a wife of me. And Alex is selling some zines, including the Cream Zine. So please partake. Cameron's wedding invitations are free. Scissors smash rock. You pulled down your shirt and there it was, a long, wavering thing. I asked how it felt to fall 16 feet and laugh. You looked like a rock star. You looked like you would play me in a movie someday. I dug my nails deeper into my own arm, rocked back and forth, sipped coffee, shook head. I tried not to kick the table and scald you. 2-line poem. It sucks to check the mail now. Your address is a tune I'll keep humming. All right, now we're gonna get horny. Carnival ramps up, I'm ready. Carnival ramps up, I'm ready to hose down the sandiest dry spell and crack the oyster of falling in love again. Another damned half moon slid my coat open, then you started showing up in my bed every week. It felt like a nun. Still, bless me anyway. I want more life. Thanks for the breathing. Driving down St. Roch came up on a dog gnawing feathers and feet of freshly disemboweled chickens, chased and shredded as a doggy do. When the certainty of dying really gets to me, like the long lead up and the what if and the how, the heart tug of posters pleading for help to find the dog let out and forgotten, or even stolen, or maybe the pup gave fuck all and snuck away to City Park to have the time of his life. We never know if Boo Boo was found or flattened. It's unsettling, really. Time of our lives or not, one of these days, that bad boy's gonna be me. Take it to the mat. Barely lit and soft-edged, many-fingered pet, you will be mine. I'm hung. Let me name you, pin you down. You're so pale, let me put my mouth on you. Everything is hinging, thinking of the big things. 3 hours of inflatable madness, the pube in the throat of the week. Can we wrestle? Let's work this out. Get in here. I use these words romantically often. Gregarious phase. My tongue enters you slowly as voice as tongue and voice as tongues. I could tattoo beloved on your shoulders, kiss each of your tiny 10 pearl toes, stare and stare at your gravy hair, or keep buying horny underwear to match your testicle necklace. Gonna grab you like a washing machine, hot soap marimba shaking, and really, who doesn't want to throw the moon around? Desire might be the time to remove all of your teeth. Honk a nose, cut off a party bus, it'll pass. Ad astra per aspera, the cavalcade of stars. All right, thanks for the setup, Henry, on the Moby Dick poem, the horny Moby Dick poem. Henry's reading Moby Dick for the first time ever, and I wrote this poem after I read it for the first time ever as someone in their 40s, never having read it in school, and it is quite a hot tale. So it starts with an epigraph. If I put my hand up, it's just because it's a quote. Ishmael the Simp. No more my splintered heart and maddened hand were turned against the wolfish world. Do I dare sleep beside this tall harpooner? From what vile hole has he come, below the throbbing and heaving sea? His body is something I'd like to describe for you. This is a thing which carries more of true terror. Does shit disgust us by evoking the primal fear of death, or is shit just gross? Or is shit just one more thing we can't control? Hopeless tasks like finding a single creature in this whole wide world, whale or whaleman, to consume and be consumed, bulging through the oysters, full tilt, rushing headlong and tossed? The heart interferes with the translation, and I intend to feel it all. With darkness comes adrenaline. With darkness comes adrenaline, and with adrenaline comes the prospect. And there you are, leaning back in grass bedded down like the jumpy dog in you couldn't stop circling. A ring of stars is at once following us and fearing us, negotiating footholds and swift currents under the actual force of the actual dusk, which becomes actual night. We're fierce and need nothing more than mobility, threatening to beat off anything that comes between you and me and endorphins and skin. The silent wave swarms the shore and sounds human, not watery. Heat bounces against the shadows and resists, is not sorry. A mouth is the end of a river, an ending that empties to enter a larger body of water. How it slams against me, how it warms in the hand, pooled oil to protruding bloody lip. Later, Lockerbie. Ian, I told you I'd write this poem, and now it's become March. The city froze over and Epiphany came, and I still haven't started painting my living room. I've been lost in Carnival and busy finally getting fucked and trying to keep my head together about it all. It just fell to the bottom of my list. Now it feels stupid to be so literal with the tulip magnolias and azaleas all blooming, the jasmine being freaky and showing up too early. The corner store guy puts rice out for the pigeons, but the crows beat them to it every damn day. Maybe the moment's gone, and I was projecting when I said that dawdling is a crow word.
Dear Clark, I'm always writing love letters to a bygone internet era. One that existed after I Love Dick, but before everyone had shit to talk about Ocean Bomb. Is there love in MySpace still? Tom, whose white Hanes t-shirt was the perfect clean dirty that moguls strive for, he was so casual for a technocrat, and so happy to be there. I was there. Happy? No, but with a fake name and a fake age and not an ad blocker in sight. It's a virus to be so friendly. My age shows when I make a statement like, Tumblr was the original epistolary performance art platform, or it was the disappearance of mailboxes countrywide that turned the youth to live journal. They just took our mailbox outside the post office on Poland Ave today. If I go inside the building, I'll risk dying there. So I keep my emails to myself and my letters written, but sitting in the car with the window cracked, not for breathing, but to release fumes and think about posting online, maybe a lot and like all of the time. One after another, not a spiral, but a line in the mathematical sense that it goes on forever in both directions. I prefer my friend with the tattoo of the USB on her ring finger. If you listen to enough left-wing podcasts about right-wing media, you know I could never achieve clean girl aesthetic. I never said I was naive.
Dear Alix, democracy was slated to fall by summer, and here we are. It's hot. Money still matters for now, but nobody has enough of it. I daydream about staying alive and land on the old trope of compounding with your pals. Just think, we could get these, have sleepovers, ginger herbals on the porch, plan B vapes, braid each other's scalps, hurricane cables, scalding vegan curry fights, witchcraft beer pong, family horse roasts. We could pass lovers to each other through the windows like tattooed cootie catchers. Am I selling this? Perms! Are you picturing it? Yeah? I just wanted to make sure you were picturing it.
Dear Clark, it is horror novels for a horror world. I read that people with anxiety like scary movies because it provides a quantifiable fear. I thought aversion therapy went out of style when newspapers changed their ink and you could no longer transfer the headlines to silly putty. The news is no longer a toy. I retract that statement, though I'm currently unavailable for further comments. But I can't help myself from chirping about it because the low hum that buzzes through the valley in my skull is that silence equals death. After I learned that talking heads is an expression, I want to know if the opposite is just a pretty face. I mostly hear disembodied heads, but not in a worried about my genetic predisposition to schizophrenia kind of way, but more in a I love and respect vocal fry kind of way. Sound off in the comments. The ritual of the news makes me vomit. It is don't shoot the messenger as a profession. I'm deep in the muddy overlaps of wellness and staying informed that spawns doing at-home yoga while listening to my daily dose of tragedy unfold on Democracy Now! We all want to rail Amy Goodman because she deserves a good fuck.
Dear Alix, a broken human heart can be a very dangerous thing. Platitudes about grief being the cost of love forget the rough touch of a mother's grimace. We're on apps trying to find the one, and it's not always that calculated, right? Field is crawling with cheating spouses and pure line cook energy, and I'm just looking for someone who wants to Eiffel Tower Eileen Miles with me. I know that somewhere out there is a creature who's never had eyes laid on it, and I'm glad my eyes will be the first. Creature asks me, what would your parents have named you? bitch, I don't know. But I got my strap in the backpack, my Narcan in the fanny pack, and I'd slip into a coma for love.
Dear Clark, every event has the word night in it. Night is not for the public. I can't believe I have to go out at night, but I go to all the nights. I go to karaoke night and bingo night and nostalgia night and catastrophe night and too late night and staying in night at a bar near me night. I went to a community dieback night and the lights were too dim to see the color because it was night and no one wanted to turn on the fluorescents. Turn on the damn lights night. The bar already looks like a hospital. I order a shot and the nurse replies, "You want well?" I'll leave the house for post-night night. It's casual, sitcom ambiance with a cast of characters so boring it's comforting. It's like therapy for dads. B-sides only. Instead of Mama tried, you get Daddy didn't do shit. This round's on him. Everyone ends up talking about their therapist anyhow. Can't we all just break up with each other in peace night? Dear Clark, feeling sluggish is the new 20. Obligatory yogurt for breakfast again with a side of engine failure. The leak is tiny, but the damage done. I'm waiting in the parking lot. We have nothing to do but look busy. I quit cigarettes and picked up checking the weather. The name, gin and catatonic. But it's formally known as, dead name not quite, it's an evolving one. Think carousel. I mean revolving. It's nothing for breakfast again. She's a well-compartmentalized bitch.
Dear Alex, do you ever feel like a monster? It's like I woke up older, but not quite a MILF. Kids? Not for me, but several of my friends have them. I feel more like a really haunted version of Baby Elephant Walk, but with Frankenstein arms. You got it? My hands look papery and ready to break, so I make an appointment with a dermatologist and worry that my sunscreen is killing off the coral. It's not exactly that I miss rock piling with the garbage pail kids or biking to Home Depot every day to keep the bucket flushing disaster at bay, but I do miss my dead friends. I thought my life would always feel so free, which is to say, I took many lives for granted.
Dear Clark, my shrink didn't react well when I told her I'm tired of all my trans friends dying. I want to be more forgiving, but not this time. I dreamed a revenge where we all died and went to carnival heaven and we all fucked cotton candy style. Strike tense when one of the gender options is clown, lace when the other is Victorian anemia. Is the third option cowboy? We collapse onto the big top. The only thing more exhausting than fucking your friends is living with them. Dear Clark, on the topic of my shrink, I think she knows I'm an anarchist. All we do is sit around and talk. It's not that far of a leap. Things fall into 3 categories: good, bad, memorable. Sometimes a 4th, funny. I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it, praxis, but I also talk a lot of shit, theory. 2 categories, both fall into the 4th one, funny. There's something radical to doing nothing, but I'm blind to it. You told me it's demeaning to refer to her as a shrink, but I don't think there's much to it. I just want my problems to get smaller.
Horse girls. Alex, I was never one of those horse girls. I liked it better when my problems were smaller. I was always more of a talking in her sleep girl, sheep twister, bored with policy wonking. My attitude towards social work is strangely hostile. I care more about most people than my own family. No one cares about that backstory. A wall will cage us in better than keep someone out. Solutions themselves are stemmed from the problem. Boundaries should flex, and when they don't, they are interminable. Which will kill first, the liver or the heart? The ticking time bomb that is the appendix, or useless detritus, or circular reasoning, the way it exposes such necessary fear.
Clark, have you thought about what a mental barrier looks like? I have, and mine looks like that moment I plug my computer into the charger and it dies upon input. Other times it looks like a cheese grater. See how my barriers fit into their appropriate labor roles, office, domestic? I await your answer, and is there a barrier that isn't work-related? It's a bummer that no one remembers to load the mental dishwasher. Who is responsible for the bummer? The bummer exists in vacuum space, domestically, of course. If the catchphrase is, it's a bummer, then I never blame you.
Dear Alix, the first time it clicked that they wanted to kill me was the first time I saw the Wolf River. In the car, over Jeff Buckley on the stereo, they'd said, I have a surprise. I knew they would throw me in. Back home, the news story blared. A neighbor drove over his wife's skull, crushing it back and forth in the front yard. I could be next. I woke up to their right hand sealed against my mouth, left thumb and forefinger pinching my nose shut. I wanted to stop your snoring. The wasp followed me on the porch. They came out to see what I was reading. The book had tiny little dents in the corners of the cover. Look, your cat was nibbling my book. It must be good. They made me believe I gnawed on it myself. The call was coming from inside the house. Below us, the neighbor's baby cried, and I felt that twin injury, sensitive as in soft as in pain. Did you know you could get in trouble for wanting to end your life?
Dear Clark, do you ever laugh at an equation? There are no more remixes on the radio, just franchise sequels on the big screen. These days, the trends are written by good artist boys with bad handwriting and good artist girls who are made of cigarettes and loafers. Some EDs are made of lipstick and others are pure powder. Every grandma has their younger counterpart. I ask too many questions and make too many friends in the wrong corners that they get a kick out of me, a premature retiree. If they even speak to me, that is. Sterility on the walls is a laughable offense. A riot, as in a comedian, not as in broken glass.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clark. That was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Don't disrupt the
Next
flow.
summer. There's a Jewish springtime tradition, though when I was writing these, it was like already 103 degrees real feel in New Orleans. But the tradition is counting the days between two holidays in the spring, a marker of an agricultural season, a way to understand the progression of time, but also kind of a time to contemplate one's own freedom. I've read it described as taking daily steps on our journey towards freedom together. Each day provides different themes to meditate on, and there's 7 different themes. And over the 7 weeks, those themes are paired with other themes or each other, equaling 49 different meditations. I'm part of this network of Jewish anarchists that love to mostly chit-chat about everything, but we have this tradition of counting the Omer is what it's called, and for each of the 7 weeks, someone takes one of those weeks and provides like a daily reflection for the group. And so I took one of those weeks and would love to turn it into a larger project. Day 29, humility and loving kindness. In a dream, I was told a friend lay on another's bed and was sheathing. I asked what that meant to them. They were reflecting on their year. I searched myself and found the word to mean a long telescope. I awoke to define the word as a blade covering. How sharp are the bundles of grain we gather to count the spring? Which blades we dull, which blades we bring to a jagged edge, to a neat point. There is some damage in reflection. There is beauty in the knife that carves the seasons. Day 30, humility and justice. I lament the fact that there is no recording of Nina Simone singing Bella Ciao. I listened to Mississippi Goddamn instead and lament the fact that the song and the state tortured her and drove her out. The song that killed the artist should have become the anthem. What a beautiful flower. It must be watered. Day 31, humility and harmony for Jessie Lou on their birthday. I'm reading something you already know. Cat-like, thumbing through the pages, there's whiskey in the thought process that spurs more time spent on the porch. Sitting down is never sedentary, and the chat is never idle. Schemes of bread and roses disguised as girlish whispers, It is gossip as direct action and a commitment to sweetness and ritual. She says, solidarity is bravery, and it is an act of love, and I read her every word. Day 32, humility and endurance. It is the Diane de Prima of it all and the accompanying mold in the book of letters. The revolution will have leaks because the infrastructure isn't there yet, or it is and there's a hole in the roof because we were meant to see the sky. Occam's razor says it's because the landlord never got the insurance money. I'm decoding instructions for large-scale feedings and meditation. I am remembering to ingest the boredom that comes with timelessness. It is a slippery mess to hold the intestines of change. It is a slog. All the means that justify seep onto the paper. There are infinite pages when we realize who writes them. Day 33. Humility and splendor within humility and splendor. A meditation within itself is hard to count. For some of the year, I am the same age as the poet Mosab Abu Toha. How do we count that? There is no navel gazing that could make the two equivalent. I read your every word and I could never understand. I watch every interview and see my friend's art on the wall of your office. The world feels smaller and I can't tell if that's a good thing. He says, for this home I shall draw no boundaries, no punctuation marks. A small world is not one that is shrinking, but one that is growing. Day 34. Humility and splendor in foundation and nurturing. I am reading a book in translation and learning there is no Spanish equivalent for the word haunt. There is the verb to bewitch and the verb to appear, none of which evoke the weight of a spirit like haunt does. Haunt is not born of a verb. Haunt is kin of the word home. A familiar ghost resides within an old haunt, irregular, the same drink order, irreverence for what has always been, for the foundation upon which the house was built, the beams that hold the structure, the haunt that holds the home. Day 35, humility and splendor in leadership. I slept with a book in my bed in order to be closer to my idols. Though still I try, no gods, no masters, no constants, no perfection. It is the walking while asking questions like, why is the planet called both the devil's backbone and the mother of thousands, and can I hold them both? Will the questions ask themselves as the ideas sleep beside me? I do not know what a thinker at rest looks like. The plant is called yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I have a funny gig where I get paid to be a typewriter poet at mostly corporate events. They're often like conferences or business parties. And so I'll sit and I take poetry orders. I ask people what they want their poems about. I get a lot of men who tell me that they want a poem about their wife or their girlfriend, and I say, oh, tell me about her. And they're like, she's pretty and she's really nice. And so when I tire of that, I sit and I type my own poems to look busy. And so these are some of those. I have them in a zine over there. Clocked in. Abysmal time clumps because a tick in this economy is already in debt and nonlinearity does not extend a credit line. When is the jubilee I've read about in books, penned by not the hopeful but the realistic? Positivity is unhinged, and guessing is kind to the predictive natures of a commitment to ideas. A ticking clock sucks blood by nesting and leaves traces of time on credit for points to redeem, for circles that are not round, and clunk, not tick, because there is no money in sight, and too much blood has been let spill. I wrote this poem in the Mardi Gras World Mansion, which is probably the worst place I've ever been. It's an event space. It's an indoor replica of an antebellum South plantation, fully indoors with like fake trees, fake house facade. And I usually don't know what kind of event it is until I get there. So I'll ask like the other wait staff, and they're like, oh, it's an energy party. And I was just so struck by the rhyming of this histories of like profit and extraction that was either totally missed or was like being celebrated in some fucked up way. It is the Disneyfication of the antebellum South on Entergy's dime, ergo my dime, as I was told, can we put this away, with a gesture towards my tip jar. We could live off-grid, unregistered, and not pay our bills, but I'm obsessed with city hellscapes and owing private companies who pirate public goods. I'm obsessed with finding flowers where they shouldn't be, like overmowed battlefields and inside a restaurant growing on fake plastic trees, unseasoned and climate controlled, with a penchant for too cold. Wealth is over air conditioned while modernity just gets hotter. I have one more, and I am breaking tradition by reading off my phone. If I can remember my passcode. Previously in the letters to Clark, I wrote that the only thing more exhausting than fucking your friends is living with them. And while it is true, maybe the B-side to that is that being exhausted by your friends is beautiful, and you should tell your friends you love them more often, even if it's cheesy. Friend doesn't cut it. We've tried other words like spouse, sibling, soulmate. Nothing fits except for the theory that our grandparents shared a cousin, which would explain some of it, and is the rumor I like best. So I talk of my love, whose outfits are better than mine, always. And so I joke and say, I can't take you anywhere. Because someone always stops to compliment your pants at the farmer's market, where we can't move one stall without you receiving praise, or you telling me about free hotties you matched with in line behind us, who we talk about loudly enough to be heard by everyone, and pair their dismay with confusion by telling them we're siblings. I'm in love with how you bike at top speed if you hear a hint of tears on the phone, and when you get to my door, you ask how I'm doing, to which I say, I'm fine, and you say, that good, huh? At which I laugh and cry some more because you tell me you biked over here so fast you forgot to put on underwear. An added layer of a missing undergarment of care makes me weep, because I know you never wear it anyways. But I'm touched by your suggestion of forgetting. I searched my messages to see how many times we said, love you, good night, to each other. I scrolled for years up until the time my phone broke in Kentucky and I lost so many love yous, but I've recovered all the times I made you text me when you got home safe, because I wait up worried until you get home safe. Ours is a love that feels like getting home safe. If home were the 12th bar of the night and calling you to ask how your day was, even though we've been apart for 20 minutes, because I've drank too much mead to remember how your day was, so we repeat ourselves till we're drunk on the mundane or the grave. We talk casually of death and how you'll die at your apartment on the balcony and me at the bar doing what she loved, knowing we will only live out of spite to the world by will of some sick karaoke god smirking down upon us. But to talk of our deaths is a sign of love, for loving someone is just the act of picturing their death and loving them nonetheless.
That is really important. That was point number 3, actually. The first thing is keep giving it up for Alix Jason. The second thing is Tilted House, embodied by Cameron Lovejoy, make really great wedding invitations / broadsides about this very thing. And you need to take those things now. It doesn't make any sense to lay those out in next month's Splice. That's weird. You have to take it right now. So if you're feeling like 5, that's good. Take them out. The third thing is tip your bartender. That makes a lot of sense. The fourth thing is thank you for being here, friends. And we do, as cheesy as it might sound, we love you for coming in the summer, of all things. And the fifth thing, you gotta go figure that out yourself. You gotta go out, get out of here whenever you feel like it, and figure that out, and then report back to us next month. We have Christy Maxwell and Jesse DeLong, probably on the second Saturday of August, but check thesplice.org to figure it out. But thank you for coming, and have a great night. Thanks.
Oh, hey! Oh, hey! Yes!
Just say glass only. What do you like? What do they mean?
For glass? Okay, I'm not really confident.
It made me tear up. Made me tear up, but I didn't quite write it. I kept looking at the line, and I was like, I kept looking at Logan, and I was like, damn, if I were Logan, I would be crying. But this film is not about me, and I am not Logan. And so I'm crying, you know. I just got my shit covered. I was just like, fuck it. I wanna, like I said, I made my New Year's resolution this year was strangely just to take second centers off. That's the residence.